Social housing helps people living in better conditions, in better health conditions, more environmentally friendly, better accessible, and probably also at lower rents than when they have to find a flat on the private rented market. So Europe is very diverse. Some countries have a larger share, maybe 1/4 or 1/3 of social housing out of the total housing stock. Other countries have maybe only 10% or even less. The situation is a bit different in the eastern member states. They have privatized a lot of their former social housing stock after the end of the communist era. So typically countries in the east of the European Union have a much lower share of social housing. Typically for social housing there are some criteria in place. Not everybody can apply for a social housing flat. So a city or a region has defined who is eligible. This can be income thresholds, this can be number of kids in a family, and very often also there are point system. So there are criteria in place which define how or how large a flat an applicant can get. Social inclusion is important in Europe. The EIB does not only focus on very large infrastructure projects, but also on the population in Europe. The EIB finances investments in the future. That means the creation of new buildings, the improvement of existing buildings. When we look at a housing project, a potential project which a promoter presents to the EIB, we focus on the social rented housing. We want to see good building quality. We want to see a sound project which meets building standards so that there is acceptable quality for the tenants who will move in there. Is there public transport? How can people get to work, to school? So we focus a lot on a wider perspective, really on creating sustainable neighborhoods. We finance many projects throughout Europe, but one project I find rather typical and representative is the city of Munich, where we finance social and affordable housing. Munich has a lot of pressure on the housing market. It is very difficult for households with a lower income to find a flat on the market. The city is growing a lot. It's an economic hub in Germany. We have seen there very interesting solutions. It's to squeeze in maybe housing into available sites and plots, to achieve a social mix, to integrate different households and population in one neighborhood.
Bis wir hier die Zusage bekommen haben, waren wir natürlich fürchterlich happy, weil ich habe mein eigenes Zimmer, mein Vater hat jetzt sein eigenes Zimmer, jetzt kommt demnächst die Küche, wir leben uns langsam richtig schön ein.
Vor einem Jahr gab es hier gar nichts und jetzt in einer Rekordzeit von 10 Monaten, vom ersten Spatenstich bis zum Erstbezug, haben wir jetzt eine, wie ich meine, sehr qualitätvolle Wohnanlage mit 81 Wohnungen, die alle bezahlbar sind für einen Kreis, der sich sonst am Münchner Mietwohnungsmarkt nicht so bedienen kann.
Social housing is a very local business, and I'm always impressed by the motivation and commitment of people we meet in projects. Make a big difference. A social housing provider is very much locally grounded in the city, in the region, and very often we meet people who are very impressive and very motivated and committed to improving the conditions of housing for low or lower income households in their neighborhoods.